and the New Orleans Saints.
Set to go, Young Wei Koo ready to do the honors.
And we are underway from the Superdome.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone.
And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
They'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold him to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
From the 16, Winston. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. 14 yards is the pickup, first down, New Orleans.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
The Saints at 500 now, 4-4 on the year, and they come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they liked where their open week fell.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
Here's Kamara, try to run for it. They have the first down with that gain of 4 yards.
Tries the left side and finds Olave. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
If you're these receivers, you got to be ready because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the off season, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
He's got it to Hilton.
And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. Back to the ground. It's Kamara.
And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35.
It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Meanwhile, Winston's throw here pulled in by Hilton.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
play fake. Winston. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
It certainly looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Winston. And this is incomplete.
That's a big force incompletion there to bring up 3rd and long. And this defense can still salvage a little momentum by forcing them to kick a field goal. Because just a few plays ago, they looked like they were headed towards the end zone.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Jameis to throw it. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Winston to the sideline here on 4th down, and Will Lutz gets set for a New Orleans field goal try.
The kick by Lutz is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead.
Well, they started the drive backed up pretty deep, but a nice effort to overcome the field position, get into field goal range on the game's opening possession. And
Brandon, I think from where they started, the initial thought was, can we get 1 or 2 first downs and help out our defense after we pump the ball away with field position? As that drive went on, I think their sights got set a little bit higher. They were thinking touchdown, ended up settling in between and coming away with the field goal.
They're going to start the drive here on the ground with Patterson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly. And that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Prescott.
Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. A first down throw for Prescott. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw in that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
Oh, he's got some breathing room.
And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38.
15 yards, first down, Atlanta. A CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but man, his first step is so quick too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast, the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
36 yards on the play.
And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else. They'll run with Patterson.
And he is going to lose yardage here. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal.
And they'll run again.
And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Cordero Patterson.
His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Falcons have taken the lead.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead.
7, Saints 3.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. 4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we've wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
On 2nd and 12, Winston. The pass caught by Olave. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Winston on target to Olave for the Saints first.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Off the play fake, Winston. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
On 2nd down, Winston again. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
The Saints on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Looking long for Thomas. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
So 1 first down on that drive, and that's it. Forced to take the deep shot on 3rd down and couldn't hit it. Now they have to punt this one away.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. This is taken at the 15. It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return.
And it will be Falcon football.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
And they came into play here off 2 straight victories. They're back to 500 on the year. But, Charles, is this little mini run coming too late to salvage their season?
Well, they definitely dug themselves a hole that leaves them needing to play almost perfect football from here on out. But I do believe they think that they've got this thing turned around, and they are capable of doing exactly that.
So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Prescott to throw it. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
On 2nd down, a run with Patterson.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
First down, Prescott. That's into the hands of Edwards.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Ran the perfect defense in this situation. Would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On second and very short, Prescott. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 23 yards, the final tally.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score.
Back to the ground now, Patterson.
And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
He's already found the end zone once in this half, and they do a nice job there pushing him backwards and denied his bid for a second score.
Now from the 9, here's second and goal.
One more time with Patterson.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Pass complete to Cordero Patterson out of the backfield.
And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
I know we saw the pass and the completion and obviously the resulting loss of yardage. To me, that play broke down with the blocking on it, because if you're going to try and swing it that far outside, that blocking's got to hold up to give your guy a chance.
And the defense, they weren't fooled at all.
No, not at all. Boy, were they aggressive on that one.
Koo knocks this one through the post.
And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3.
So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the 2 teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone.
And not a good return here at all, as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
Saints take over first and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Winston. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown.
But Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick 6.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal. In case of a defense, they want to end with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
Youngway Koo, the kickoff for Atlanta.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This will be brought out from the middle of, and all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. And fantastic field position has them just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line in the red zone.
So problems compounding themselves here on the return. They just give up the touchdown, and now they lose the football.
Yeah, partner, things are starting to unravel a little bit for them right in front of our eyes. They're going to be looking for some answers, and quickly.
Prescott looks to throw on first. He's got it. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here. A chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime.
They'll try to run with Patterson.
And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
On 2nd and goal, Prescott. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
On a tight game like this, that could be an incredibly important pick 6, CD. And remember, it cancels out the one that the opposition had earlier in this ball game.
You're right about that, partner, because each side came up with plays to swing the momentum their way. Still plenty of time left for either team to come through with a win, though. Can someone else make a similar play and win it for their club?
Lutz good on the extra point, and that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway.
And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one. So now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game. And down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field.
They'll run with Patterson.
And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee it's not going to stop this quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Prescott.
Crossing route incomplete. He's got Pitts.
And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 42. A gain there of 21 yards.
And that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on the flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
Looking to throw again on second down. Prescott.
Throw left side. There's London.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
And that last throw, CD, going to move him even further up that all-time passing leaderboard as he just moved beyond Broadway Joe Namath at 27,663 yards.
And that's impressive because Joe Namath, my goodness, he could throw a football. I mean, it was just gorgeous the way he threw it. Rallied his Jets to a Super Bowl win, one of the greatest upsets in NFL history. Broadway Joe, the man.
Fourth down, and the attention turns to Falcon kicker Younghoe Koo.
On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt.
Koo knocks this one through the post. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it. And he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone.
And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
The Saints take over first and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started.
And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
Jameis now on first down.
That's Olave bringing in another one.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
To throw again on second down. Winston. And his throw here is incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. On play action, Winston. And that will be incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to kick it away. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Falcons will be taking over first and 10. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get him 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here.
And that's why you do all the drills that you do from the quarterback position, because you're not going to just throw to your strength. The right-handed quarterback naturally will want to move to the right side to throw the football. But sometimes you've got to go left, and that's exactly what happened on that play. Forced to his left, still able to accurately throw it downfield for a completion.
Straight ahead, Patterson. And this will be a Falcons first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
On first down, going back to Patterson.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. He was trying to clear the way, the big fullback. Instead, he gets a hold.
And you don't see that very often on running plays from those guys because usually they're the lead blocker. Normally, when he gets caught, it's in a passing situation.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter.
First and 10, it's Patterson.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
I would think as a play call, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end, any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was. Because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him in the future.
Here's Patterson again.
And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40.
48 yards on the ground for him so far.
The Falcons on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. To throw is Prescott. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up fourth. Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now Winston. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball has been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Desperation time. Winston on fourth down. Looking deep for Hilton. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on? A lack of discipline defensively on fourth down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. They go play action. Winston. He's going to take another shot here. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Jameis again.
He'll find his tight end. It's Adam Troutman.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Play fake. Winston. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Here's Winston. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
2nd and 10.
Again, it's Winston.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a third down.
We just saw another example of really good defensive football, which has led to the cushion that they have in this game. Got to him once again, knocked him on the ground, forced an incompletion.
Yeah, they've set the tone. It's one thing to set the tone, another to come in here on the road and set the tone.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Play action now. Winston. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And the tackle going to be made at the 41 as they stop him a few yards short of the first. Now Winston on 4th down. He's going to have his running back. It's complete.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10.
Off the play fake. Winston. To the right side and complete to Thomas. A 1st down throw for Winston. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
Arnold Ebiketie able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Airing it out deep for Smith. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Winston. He's going to go up top again. And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
And the Falcons are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
For this defense, CD, that's kind of the icing on the cake here as we get to the end of this one.
And didn't you feel that they weren't just going into total prevent there? You know, they had the lead, and sometimes you fall back and you lose your aggressiveness. Not in this case. They were still making a play on the football, and look how that one turned out. They may have salted this one away.
And they're able to get this one across the 35.
65 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times. Again, Patterson.
And some room to maneuver. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
And 22 more yards there and another 1st down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Prescott to throw.
And caught by London. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Prescott here to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, 2 good plays on this one, Brandon. The first one at the quarterback because the pressure affected his throw. And I think it forced him to throw away from his designated target. And how about the second bit of pressure downfield? Receiver going up for the pass, helping force that incompletion.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Here's Prescott. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Marcus May with a pick.
And the Saints are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line.
Now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the 4th.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no, but the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Atlanta, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Tampa to take on the Bucs.
About 'em, petty, petty